Starting your day with breakfast at the wrong restaurant could set you up for more than just disappointment. It might actually ruin your entire morning before it even begins. While these popular chains promise quick, satisfying breakfast options, what actually happens in their kitchens during the early morning rush reveals shortcuts, quality compromises, and food safety issues that would make any health-conscious person reach for a granola bar instead. From eggs that were cracked yesterday to coffee that's been sitting since the graveyard shift, the breakfast industry has developed practices that prioritize speed over safety. Morning operations at major restaurant chains involve unique challenges that don't exist during other meal periods, including limited prep time, skeleton crews, and equipment that's been running continuously since before dawn. These factors create perfect conditions for the kind of mistakes and corner cutting that can transform what should be the most important meal of the day into a potential health hazard wrapped in familiar branding and convenient locations. McDonald's breakfast service demonstrates how industrial food preparation can strip away any resemblance to actual morning cooking, replacing traditional breakfast items with processed alternatives that bear only superficial similarity to real food. McDonald's famous Egg McMuffins use eggs that arrive pre-cracked and processed in liquid form weeks before they reach your sandwich, then get formed into perfectly round discs using molds that create artificial uniformity never found in natural eggs. The cooking process for McDonald's breakfast sandwiches involves reheating pre-cooked components rather than preparing items fresh, meaning your hot breakfast was actually assembled from ingredients that were prepared hours or days earlier in industrial facilities. Sausage patties at McDonald's contain dozens of artificial additives and preservatives designed to extend shelf life and maintain consistent flavor. But these chemicals create a product that tastes more like seasoned processed meat than traditional breakfast sausage. Hash browns at McDonald's are formed from potato paste rather than shredded fresh potatoes, then deep-fried in oil that often gets reused throughout multiple shifts without adequate filtration or replacement. Temperature control during McDonald's breakfast rush often fails to maintain food safety standards, with items sitting in warming trays longer than recommended while staff struggle to keep up with drive-through demand. Cross-contamination occurs regularly when the same equipment is used for different breakfast items without proper cleaning between uses, particularly during busy morning periods when speed takes priority over sanitation protocols. Quality control procedures at McDonald's focus more on appearance and serving speed than actual food safety, meaning that items which might be questionable from a safety standpoint still get served if they look acceptable. Coffee quality at McDonald's suffers from brewing procedures that prioritize quantity over quality, with coffee often sitting in urns for hours beyond optimal freshness, while being continuously reheated to maintain serving temperature. Dunkin' represents another major breakfast chain where convenience and speed have replaced quality and freshness as the primary operational goals. Dunkin's donut preparation involves products that are often baked off-site and delivered frozen, then reheated in stores using methods that don't always restore proper texture and flavor to products that customers expect to be fresh. Coffee preparation at Dunkin' frequently involves brewing methods and holding procedures that compromise flavor quality, with coffee sometimes sitting in dispensers for extended periods while being kept artificially hot through continuous heating. Breakfast sandwich assembly at Dunkin' uses pre-cooked ingredients that are reheated when ordered, but the reheating process doesn't always reach proper internal temperatures throughout all components of the sandwich. Egg quality at Dunkin' varies significantly depending on supplier contracts and store-level preparation procedures, with some locations receiving higher quality ingredients, while others use lower-grade alternatives to control costs. Storage rotation procedures at Dunkin' stores don't always follow first-in, first-out principles, particularly for ingredients with longer shelf lives, meaning some breakfast items might contain components that are older than optimal. Cross-contamination risks increase at Dunkin' locations where the same preparation surfaces and equipment are used for different menu items without adequate cleaning protocols between different products. Quality control training for Dunkin' employees often emphasizes speed of service over food safety considerations, leaving staff unprepared to identify potential safety issues that could affect customer health. Customer service procedures at Dunkin' don't always include adequate protocols for addressing food quality complaints, particularly issues that might not be immediately obvious but could affect safety or satisfaction. Starbucks breakfast offerings reveal how coffee-focused operations can struggle with food safety and quality when expanding beyond their core competency into meal service. Starbucks sources many breakfast items from industrial suppliers who prioritize shelf stability and uniform appearance over factors like flavor, nutrition, and freshness that would enhance the eating experience. Reheating procedures for Starbucks breakfast sandwiches often involve microwave cooking that creates uneven temperatures, with some areas of sandwiches becoming overheated while others remain cold enough to pose safety risks. Storage conditions at Starbucks locations sometimes involve keeping breakfast items at temperatures that promote bacterial growth, particularly during busy morning periods when refrigeration units are opened frequently. Quality control oversight at Starbucks focuses primarily on coffee preparation, with food items receiving less attention and training despite representing significant safety and quality risks for customers. Cross-contamination occurs when the same equipment and preparation areas are used for different food items without proper cleaning protocols, particularly problematic given the limited kitchen space at most Starbucks locations. Ingredient quality for Starbucks breakfast items varies significantly depending on supplier relationships and cost control pressures, with some items containing higher quality components while others use industrial-grade alternatives. Employee training at Starbucks emphasizes coffee preparation over food safety, leaving staff members unprepared to properly handle the storage, preparation, and serving of breakfast items that require different safety protocols. Customer expectations for Starbucks food quality often exceed the reality of what can be achieved using the reheating and assembly methods employed at most locations, leading to disappointment and potential safety issues. Subway's breakfast service demonstrates how sandwich assembly operations can create unique food safety challenges when applied to morning meal items that require different handling procedures. Subway's breakfast meat preparation involves products that are often pre-cooked and reheated when ordered, but the reheating process doesn't always reach proper internal temperatures throughout all portions of the meat products. Egg preparation at Subway uses liquid egg products that are cooked on flat grills, but temperature control can be inconsistent, leading to eggs that are either overcooked and rubbery or undercooked and potentially unsafe. Storage procedures for Subway breakfast ingredients don't always account for the different temperature requirements of various components, with some items stored at conditions that may not be optimal for maintaining quality and safety. Cross-contamination risks are elevated at Subway locations where the same preparation surfaces and utensils are used for multiple menu items throughout the day without adequate cleaning between different food types. Quality control training for Subway employees often focuses on sandwich assembly speed rather than proper food safety procedures for handling breakfast items that require different preparation methods than cold sandwiches. Temperature monitoring at Subway locations can be inadequate for ensuring that breakfast items reach and maintain safe internal temperatures throughout the cooking and serving process. Ingredient rotation procedures at Subway don't always ensure that breakfast items are used in proper order, particularly for ingredients that have shorter shelf lives or require more careful handling. Customer service protocols at Subway don't always include adequate procedures for addressing food safety concerns related to breakfast items that might not meet proper temperature or quality standards. Taco Bell's breakfast menu represents an attempt to apply fast food Mexican concepts to morning meals, but the execution often creates quality and safety issues that don't exist with their regular menu items. Taco Bell's breakfast meat preparation involves reheating processed meat products that may not reach consistent internal temperatures throughout, particularly in items that combine multiple protein types in single servings. Egg preparation at Taco Bell uses industrial egg products that are cooked using methods designed for speed rather than quality, often resulting in texture and flavor issues that affect customer satisfaction. Storage conditions for Taco Bell breakfast. Ingredients sometimes involve keeping items at temperatures that allow bacterial growth, particularly during early morning hours when staffing levels are minimal. Cross-contamination occurs when the same equipment is used for breakfast and regular menu items without proper cleaning protocols, potentially transferring flavors and allergens between different meal periods. Quality control procedures at Taco Bell focus more on assembly speed than food safety verification, meaning that breakfast items might not receive adequate temperature checking before being served to customers. Ingredient quality for Taco Bell breakfast items often reflects cost control priorities rather than nutritional or safety considerations, with processed alternatives being used instead of fresher options. Employee training at Taco Bell emphasizes production speed over food safety knowledge, leaving staff unprepared to properly handle breakfast items that require different preparation procedures than regular menu offerings. Customer expectations for Taco Bell breakfast quality often don't align with the reality of fast food preparation methods applied to morning meal items that traditionally require more careful cooking procedures. Burger King's breakfast service illustrates how burger-focused operations struggle to adapt their cooking methods and quality control procedures to breakfast items that require different handling approaches. Burger King's breakfast meat preparation involves flame broiling methods that work well for burgers but don't always translate effectively to breakfast items that require more precise temperature control. Egg cooking at Burger King uses methods designed for high-volume production rather than quality, often resulting in eggs that are either overcooked or don't reach proper internal temperatures throughout. Storage rotation for Burger King breakfast ingredients doesn't always follow proper procedures, particularly for items that have different shelf life requirements than regular menu components. Cross-contamination risks increase when the same cooking equipment is used for breakfast and regular menu items without adequate cleaning between different meal periods. Quality control oversight at Burger King locations varies significantly, with some stores maintaining better breakfast food safety procedures than others depending on management and training quality. Temperature monitoring for Burger King breakfast items can be inadequate, particularly during busy morning periods when staff focus on speed rather than proper food safety verification. Ingredient sourcing for Burger King breakfast menu reflects cost control priorities that don't always align with quality or safety considerations that would enhance customer satisfaction. Employee turnover at Burger King affects breakfast food safety when inexperienced staff handle morning preparation without adequate training and proper procedures for breakfast-specific items. Wendy's breakfast program represents a recent expansion into morning meals that has revealed quality control challenges when adapting existing operations to different meal requirements. Wendy's breakfast meat preparation involves cooking methods that don't always translate effectively from their burger operations to breakfast items that require different temperature and timing considerations. Egg quality at Wendy's varies depending on preparation methods and staff training, with some locations producing better results than others depending on equipment maintenance and employee skill levels. Storage procedures for Wendy's breakfast ingredients sometimes lack the specificity needed for morning meal items that require different handling than regular menu components. Cross-contamination prevention at Wendy's locations depends heavily on staff training and adherence to protocols that may not be consistently implemented across all restaurants in the chain. Quality control standards for Wendy's breakfast items are still being refined as the company adapts to morning meal service, leading to inconsistencies in food safety and quality across different locations. Temperature control equipment at Wendy's restaurants wasn't always designed with breakfast service in mind, creating challenges for maintaining proper cooking and holding temperatures for morning menu items. Ingredient sourcing for Wendy's breakfast menu reflects the company's adaptation to morning meal service, with supply chain adjustments that don't always prioritize quality over cost and convenience factors. Employee training for Wendy's breakfast service is still evolving as the company develops best practices for morning meal preparation that differ from their traditional burger-focused operations. Panera Bread's breakfast offerings demonstrate how bakery-focused operations can create food safety challenges when expanding into prepared breakfast items that require different handling procedures. Panera's breakfast sandwich preparation involves reheating pre-assembled items that may not reach consistent internal temperatures throughout all components, particularly in sandwiches with multiple ingredients. Egg preparation at Panera uses cooking methods designed for efficiency rather than quality, often resulting in texture and temperature issues that affect both safety and customer satisfaction. Storage conditions for Panera breakfast ingredients sometimes involve keeping items at temperatures that don't optimize freshness and safety, particularly for components that require specific temperature ranges. Cross-contamination risks exist when the same preparation areas are used for different breakfast items without adequate cleaning protocols between different menu components. Quality control training at Panera emphasizes bakery operations over breakfast food safety, leaving staff unprepared to properly handle prepared breakfast items that require different safety protocols. Temperature monitoring for Panera. Breakfast items can be inadequate during busy morning periods when staff focus on customer service rather than food safety verification procedures. Ingredient rotation procedures at Panera don't always account for the different shelf life requirements of various breakfast components, particularly items that require fresher handling than bakery products. Customer service protocols at Panera don't always include adequate procedures for addressing breakfast food quality issues that might not be immediately obvious but could affect safety. The breakfast industry's focus on speed and convenience has created a system where traditional morning meal quality has been sacrificed for operational efficiency. From eggs that never existed as shells to coffee that's been reheated more times than your leftovers, these 8 restaurants represent the triumph of industrial food production over actual cooking. The solution isn't necessarily to avoid restaurant breakfast entirely, but to understand what you're actually getting when you choose convenience over quality. Local diners, independent coffee shops, and restaurants that prepare breakfast items to order often provide better quality and safety than these industrial operations. When you do choose to eat breakfast at these chains, be aware of the compromises involved and adjust your expectations accordingly. The speed and convenience come at a cost in terms of freshness, nutrition, and sometimes safety. Your morning deserves better than reheated industrial food products disguised as breakfast. By understanding which restaurants cut corners and which maintain higher standards, you can make better choices that actually nourish your body rather than just filling your stomach. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Now you're officially more informed than most customers. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. And remember, the truth is not always on the menu.